Hey Gloomers, welcome back to Nerdhaven. My name is Mike, and today I'm going to be giving a quick start tutorial for the Frosthaven Enhanced mod for Tabletop Simulator. This tutorial is going to assume that you already have a working knowledge of Gloomhaven Enhanced. If you have no knowledge of Tabletop Simulator and you need a full tutorial, I'll have a separate video for that, and you'll find a link to that in the description below. As far as this mod goes, this is officially licensed by Cephalofair, so we have all of the full resolution assets and full permission to use them. And yeah, so we'll just jump right in. So this video is going to be covering version 1.0. This will be the initial launch version. As any new versions come out with new features, I'll record a quick little video that'll highlight those new features. And you may find a link for that below as well to point in that direction if you're watching this later on. First thing I want to draw your attention to is the campaign manager. This isn't much different from what you see in Gloomhaven Enhanced, but you have a button here to start a new campaign, or you can save your campaign so that you can then create an object that you'd save and carry that over to a newer version of this mod and load that campaign in without having to set everything up from scratch. But we're going to click New Campaign. And now you can see all of the starting assets have loaded. And all of my classes are over here. I'm just going to set a couple of classes up so I can show you a few things. Alright, so here's our new character mat. You can see we have the character mat in the middle here on your player mat. You have an active area in your discard and lost piles here. AMDs are over here, hit points and XP tracker. You'll have your starting standee and trackers here. Area for your non-AMD perk reminders, your battle goal, any loot cards you gain throughout the scenario. This is your played cards. So normally you'll have 1 and 2. There's some situations like Blank Blade has a card that allows you to play a third ability card. Usually you're only going to have 2 though, and when you're done with it, at the end of the round, it'll send it to your discard pile, or you can send it to your active area or lost pile ahead of that end of round. You also have an area down here where you can put your item cards. You have level up cards here, PQ, your perk unlock reminder cards and AMD cards, and your character sheet. So everything's laid out there nice and clean. Next thing I want to draw your attention to is this nice new little feature. So here we have this level 1 card. If I right click, I can go to Enhance Ability, and we have a new Enhance Ability enhancement calculator where I can actually click on the different enhancement pips, and it'll give me the cost for them, and I can apply them right here that way. So a little bit of an easier way to add enhancements than we had in previous versions. We have a class unlock tool, so you can see the starting 6 classes are available here. But if you click this, you can actually get a menu option, and you can unlock some of those classes as well. I won't do that because I don't want to spoil anything, but it just automatically pops that envelope out as you unlock additional classes. So nice and easy to do that now. Item area. So you have the ability to unpack and pack up your items as normal. So you can see the items load up here, and I can right click to pack them up on this button. You'll see locked items. You now have a little tooltip here where you can input either an item number or an item name to unlock that item without having to search through the bag and potentially spoil things for yourself. For random items, you have the ability to unlock from here. This also has an index that has little cards that will indicate what treasures you gain from treasure chests. You can ignore this. This is mostly going to be scripted within the scenario. Same thing with the loot deck. You have all the loot cards available here, but those will generate at the beginning of the scenario. There is a bug with that right now, so in this video, you'll see that tile appears when you load a scenario, but nothing will pop onto it. But we'll cover that in just a minute. Next, let's go over monster and ally attack modifier decks. You'll see these are laid out here. The red one is for monsters, blue one is for allies, and as you draw these cards, you'll be able to see their different information displayed here. World map. Off to the right, you can see we have the full world map here. You can unlock certain stickers from this menu, but for the most part, a lot of these things are going to be driven by buildings or from the scenario tracker. I guess we'll kind of jump right into the building cards next. So your starting buildings, you have cards here for them. For each card that you have here, you'll be able to upgrade the building, or if it gets wrecked, you can indicate that it gets wrecked. Once it's wrecked, the buttons below will change so that your only option is to repair it. And then you also have the ability to build different things, and this will expand as you unlock additional buildings. All the locked information, you have sealed envelopes down here, and these you can search in, pull them out, and they'll have an unlock button that you can use to unlock those features. We also have a scenario tracker, so you can actually go through here and you can track all the scenarios as you unlock them. You have your party sheet. Here you have your event mats. We're going to add some overlays so it'll be clear which one's which, but you can see this is summer road events, summer outpost, winter road, winter outpost. And instead of having to go through and sort through the deck, you can actually just click this button to get a new event. And then from there, you can decide, is this something that goes at the bottom of the deck? Is this something that gets removed? You have the ability to control that right from the interface. And again, you have the same thing for each of these event menus. We also have our town guard cards here, so you can draw those, and your alchemy chart. So all these things are pretty straightforward. Alchemy chart, again, has buttons where you can actually unlock them to show what you've revealed as you open up new alchemy paths. Next thing we're going to do is go over to show you the menu options. First, let me show you under here, game keys. There's a whole bunch of things that you can toggle. One thing that I'm going to show in just a moment is how to toggle terrain outline. This is a feature that we're making some improvements to, so what you'll see in version 1.0 will actually improve. I'll also point out the context menu. This does exist in Gloomhaven Enhanced, but it is relatively new, and this is going to be something that we rely on more and more to apply conditions to things going forward. The tokens that are on the table now at some point are going to be going away, and we'll just be using the context menu to apply conditions going forward. Same thing with creating summons, adding trackers, things like that. Just going to rearrange some of this here. So you have an element tracker that's up here on the left. You can left click to create an element, and you can right click to remove it. If you end the round with something that's strong, it'll automatically move it to waning. But if you accidentally remove an element that should be waning and you need to set it back, you can actually do that with the middle mouse button. Also have an initiative tracker here. We're going to go through that a little bit later when we actually load a scenario. Also, just real quick, going to pull up the options here. You'll see you have the ability to select from different table felts. And you also have the ability to pick different colors if you want. Now let's load a scenario. Now when you go into game setup and you refresh your scenario list, by default it's only going to show you the scenarios that you have available to you. You do have the option to show locked scenarios or completed scenarios. But this makes it a little bit easier instead of having to scroll through everything and potentially have things spoiled by seeing the names. So we're going to load scenario 0 here. And as I mentioned before, the loot deck didn't populate, so that's a bug that we're working on. But otherwise, the first thing I want to show you is, I mentioned before, here under game keys, you have the ability to add a key for toggle terrain outline. So now in this scenario here, you'll see that we have the different overlay tile types here. One thing you'll notice about Frosthaven is that sometimes you can have a token be an obstacle in one scenario, it could be hazardous terrain in another. Rather than refer back to the book, it's helpful to have an ability to just quickly see at the scenario level what type of overlay tile something is. But you can bind to a hotkey, you can turn that off, so you can toggle this back and forth. Visually, the way that we're doing this is going to change a little bit in the next version. Just wanted to point out that there is an ability to turn that on and off if you'd like. That's done individually, locally. So if you are playing with other players, you can toggle it on and off and it won't impact their view. Each person has the ability to control what they see. So let me get rid of this scenario and then I'll show you something else here. And we're going to load scenario 1. I want to point out the new enemy mats here. You can actually spawn normal or elite enemies from this mat. You can also control the level. Everything just adjusts right here in real time. And you'll also see off to the right, this is a new feature that you didn't have before in Gloomhaven Enhanced. We actually have 2 different types of guards here. And by the rules, you're supposed to be sharing the deck. In a scenario like this, where you have opposing guards, the game is designed for you to actually have both guards doing the same thing on the same turn. And that's why, having this deck here where you can actually draw, they share the same deck now. So that's something we didn't have in Gloomhaven Enhanced, but that's been added for Frosthaven. Alright, I just reorganized some things because I wanted to start a fresh round where you can actually see all the enemies and players available here. So with Blink Blade, going fast or slow changes your initiative. Both are loaded into the initiative tracker, and you just have to hide whichever one doesn't apply to you. You can see how the enemies, you can see their abilities by expanding here if you want. But you'll also see that we have a round tracker now, and if you need to fix that, you can go in and you can edit the round number. But that's built into the initiative tracker, which wasn't there before. And I think that's about it for this quick guide. So if I missed anything useful, please leave a comment below. I just want to pop up on the screen here and give credit to all the people that helped work on this mod. It was a big effort, took a lot of work, and it took some time to get the license agreement and everything in place, but happy that we did. Really excited for everybody to get their hands on this. We have a lot of big ideas for future improvements that'll be coming, and we have a really great team of some really talented individuals that are going to help bring this further and further to life for you. So if you found this video helpful, share it with the people you play with. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.